Hey everybody, this is Dina from the Rhode Island Wave. I had the pleasure of coming out to Bend Glassworks studio in North Kingstown, Rhode Island. Bend is a glass art collaborative comprised of childhood friends Michael Richardson, Justin Tarducci, and Timothy Underwood. Bend is a company that loves to explore the possibilities of glassblowing. Through innovation and creativity, the team is continuously striving to stretch the limits of what is possible when it comes to this time-honored craft. Bend produces new and improved products every year, all while honoring the roots of the glassblower's art. Thanks to their unflagging commitment to exploration, customers can always expect something fresh and unique from Bend. The talents from all three of these glassblowing artists encourage and complement the energy and originality that permeates every piece of glass that they create. They are constantly striving to honor and expand the glassblower's art through innovation fueled by experimentation and creation. Today, Michael Richardson is going to walk us through the process of making one of their famous Rhode Island waves.
So right now, pretty much we're going to make one of our more iconic pieces. It's a wave sculpture. This is the furnace. It holds all our clear glass at about 2,000 degrees. So what I'm doing right now is called gathering. I'm literally wrapping or gathering fresh, clear, molten glass out of the furnace onto this rod. And here's some of our colors over here. This is actually the core coloration for a wave sculpture. And we use a range of transparents and opaques to really kind of give it some depth. Then we add a little bit of opaque white, the same way a crashing wave will kind of break, to give it that froth. And so now the color's on the surface. I go back to the heat just to not melt it in. And that glow you're seeing is just the heat. It's actually blues and greens, teals. This right here is what's called an optic marver. And it has these little ridges on it. So that way the color matches the form of a wave. So right now it's still a little hot to go back in. So what I'll do is go to the bench. And this is compressed air. It just cools the glass down. So I just cooled the outside. You can almost hear it. It's solidifying. Still probably about 1,400 degrees. And I'm going to go back in and case the whole thing in clear glass. So this is a big metal marver, and it's a good tool for actually shaping and rolling the glass on it. So what I'm doing right now is just kind of gently distributing that fresh clear glass. And I'm trying to mimic the shape of what's called an optic mold. That's what we're going to use to get the ridges, which is this mold here. So this is a technique called carving or sculpting. It's solid work. Technically it's blown glass, but it's all solid, so we're not inflating it. We're just kind of manipulating the mass. So now I'm just kind of looking for the right amount of heat to go into the optic mold. That way we'll get this nice little ridge. So everything is done kind of incrementally. You don't want it to be too forceful. You want the form to look nice and fluid. So what I'm looking at is how quickly this whole mass is kind of flopping around. That'll tell me the heat on the outside and the inside, which will let me know, how much I could do. So these are called pincers or tweezers. What I'm doing is just using them as an extension of my hands to kind of tease out the shape. These are called jacks. And what I'm doing right now is just kind of using the butt of the jacks to shape it, and these blades are going to squeeze it down. Because pretty much everything we make, you have to break off the pipe. It's called a jack line. So we'll squeeze it down and fracture the jack line when we're actually completed the whole piece. That's auto. So always, both your hands are kind of working in unison. You know, how quickly I rotate the pipe, how much heat I got to manipulate it, what angle. So right now I'm lowering the back end, so the bottom of this wave has a nice base. So if you wanted some customization, engraving, or you know, some text, we could actually etch that on there.
Mike, how many thousands of these do you think you
Thousands
made?
this year? No, so we started our company in 2003. It's one of the first pieces we ever made. We wanted a sculptural paperweight that was different than a round, traditional kind of round paperweight. So it's kind of no-brainer coming from the Ocean State. Took a little time to develop the different colors on the inside, size, and look. We wrap a little bit of fresh clear glass around the lip. That way it gives it that that breaking away texture. So it's called a bit of glass. So I'm using these pincers right now to kind of give it that breaking wave depth curl. So now the rest of this is pretty cold, that's nice and hot. We're going to heat it back up and finish the curl. Good question. This is called a glory hole. This we fire up just when we're doing production. It tends to run a little bit hotter than the furnace. The furnace is on 24/7, ideally. 7 days a week at about 2,000 degrees. And this is good for this equipment we build. You know, say we're making larger pieces. We make a wave that, you know, almost weighs 30 pounds. Takes a couple days to cool. So depending on your scale, you have different options. So you can see that the bright glow, got a lot more heat back in it.
Justin's putting some white glue together for the next one.
So same idea as going into the mold, is making the shape, just little incremental motions. You see how the whole thing's still sagging. Every time you turn it, you kind of look at a different aspect of it, different angle. And the most difficult part, I guess for me, probably for everyone, is everything's handmade. So we don't really use any molds. So how do you offer a piece the same size and shape that inherently wants to be different every time? So that's just through repetition, muscle memory. See, it's still even sagging. So I'm constantly checking the total height. So right now I just use that compressed air to pinpoint the spot I want to chill, which is the jack line, where it's squeezed down. I'm going to use a little bit of water. I don't even know if you can hear that sizzle. Oh yeah. It's cracking the surface. So then when I hit the pipe, vibrations go all the way down through it and break at its weakest point. So it cools pretty quickly, so you're constantly moving through work. Come over here to the break-off stand. Little tap, it comes right off. You can almost see how hot the piece still is. And that's called the moil. Inherently that has to break off the pipe, but we upcycle some of the moils and other works. And this is a torch. Since we broke glass, it left a sharp edge, so I'm fire polishing the sharp edge. Little things you got to be careful about: the mixture of oxygen and gas. You don't want to burn the color or burn the glass. And just so people know where it came from, we have a little stamp here with our name on it. It's stamped the back. So I'm constantly making little fine adjustments depending on if there's air, wind blowing on it, the temperature. Kevlar gloves. That way I don't burn my little fingertips. And then so it sits nice and flat, we actually put it on this little piece of graphite here. And it's kind of the last chance for us to give a good look at it, see how it's going to shape up in the cooling oven. And then this is a big cooling oven or annealer, and it's pretty much programmed to bring stuff down coolly, slowly over, a couple, anywhere between 12 to 48 hours depending on the size and the shape of the pieces. So we do different runs. That's how you make a wave.